Say it's night and day, high school and college ball. I see him succeeding after a little while at USI, and a nice pitching staff next year for Gary Redmond. Humphrey, if Croft comes back, and, well, take a look at Fetcher.
One advantage that Mike is going to have, maybe, over a lot of the incoming freshmen out at USI is he is familiar with the program, having Oki Pryor help Steve Johnston this year at rights, and he has really worked hard with Mike the past couple years as far as his mound mechanics out there, how he presents himself as a pitcher, and we saw an improvement last year versus this year, and I'm sure once he gets out there and gets involved with the program a little bit, he's going to be that much more effective.
1-2 from Fetcher, so looking for 5 strikeouts in a row. Monticello looking for their first state championship ever. And he found the outside corner. So now 5 strikeouts in a row here for Mike Fetcher, and my Mike Fetcher button is working, Doug.
Well, it's a good luck charm right now for Funkhouser. That'll bring up the catcher, Brian Rothrock, comes in at 301. He's picked up 22 hits and 73 at-bats.
And your 9th batter, we go back on top to Diekman. So Fetcher compiles the Ks, and Gary Redmond likes what he sees, and probably very, very happy to have him.
And Gary has a little advantage also. He has been helping Mac LaRue and the Funkhouser team all season long, so I'm sure that he is kind of trying to educate Mike a little bit at a time just on how he's going to use him and how effective he can be if he stays with the program, works on his pitches, does not get real lazy and take stuff for granted.
Well, you got players here from the west side, and Gary Redmond helps out here, as does Jim Brownlee with Eugene Pate. 1-1. Looking for half a dozen in a row here is Fetcher. And a big cut by Rothrock.
I'd say Mike is on right now. I've seen him the past 2 or 3 years, and he has really improved each season, and you look at this Legion season pretty much as a carryover from the high school season. He had an outstanding year, not so much his record-wise, but overall ERA and strikeouts versus walks. And he is one of those impact pitchers that when he is out there and he is on, look for that to be a motivational factor as far as the rest of his teammates are concerned. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Fetcher has not pitched in a game in 13 days. Wouldn't know it here. 2-2, and found the corner again. 6 strikeouts in a row for Mike Fetcher. Wow. Greg Diekman, the next batter, the shortstop, the leadoff man for Monticello. 0 for 1 today. He popped out to first baseman Sean Sandwell just inside fair territory back in the first.
Got his stuff going. Started with Philip Terry. Sailors back. Brown, Hilton, Rothrock, and this is going to break up everything. Well, he wasn't going to go on all day striking out everybody.
Well, that was pretty much a perfectly placed bunt by Diekman. And as a leadoff man, that really is his basic responsibility, is to get on base anytime, any way that he can. And he kind of got an idea of how Fetcher was throwing with the teammates in front of him, setting down 6 in a row via the strikeout. So he went out there, already probably had in his mind when he was on deck what he was going to try to do, laid down a perfect bunt.
Start a new string of Ks. Mike threw 10 batters, 2 hits, 6 strikeouts. One popped up to the first baseman, Sandwell, 1 for the rest of them.
Funkhouser can give a little bit of credit there on that attempted pickoff play to first base umpire Brian Garland. Trying to get out of the way, the throw was wide of first base. Sandwell had to come off the bag, not able to get a glove on it. But the throw was far enough up the first baseline where it hit Garland right in the foot, enabling Monticello just to stay at first base versus maybe trying to get second.
0-1 there on the outside corner. Have all the colleges listed, the players here in Monticello, and Ryan Long going to undecided college, Doug.
That's I think a Division I AA.
Yeah. Big customers, 6'3", 180, biggest on the squad. And Fetcher looking to start a new string here, 1-2.
And during this whole weekend of state tournament here in Evansville, you're going to see a lot of big boys out here as far as overall size, a lot of bulk and build. Good baseball players, probably a lot of them multi-sport athletes.
And you've just seen strikeout number 7 by Mike Fetcher, 1 in between. That was a base hit. 2 base hits through 11 now as it continues. The weekend of American Legion Baseball State Championship on TV 52.
Welcome to Brinker's Jewelers, where quality jewelry, prompt service, and affordable pricing is what we strive for.
The Brinker's touch is unsurpassed quality. At Brinker's Jewelers, they offer beautiful custom design work, diamond and stone remounting, also fine quality antique and estate jewelry. Brinker's Jewelers has been fighting the tri-state with quality, service, and fair prices for over 19 years. The Brinker's Touch, Lloyd Expressway and Green River Road.
Pete Sampras comes up to serve. Jan Stevenson makes the drive. A.C. Green and Charles Smith pound the boards. Marcus Allen rushes up the middle. Jay Schrader with the touchdown. There are a lot of different parts to play in the American Red Cross. Play your part.
Well, the very first American Legion Baseball State Championship was decided way back in 1926 when a team called Indianapolis Atkins won the very first. And on to this day, as mentioned, Funkhouser has had 4 of them since 1926. Now, every now and then it was a year they did not play for one reason or another, the plague or something. Lead off for Eric Wagner.
Was that the plague of a certain year or just an overall plague?
Whatever, I wasn't alive back in the 20s. Sean Sandwell, first baseman. Hayes on deck. Kostlam and Fetcher again to round it out. Looking for the first run of the ball game. Hits even at 2 apiece. That's past Tim Brown. Easy pass here for Eric Wagner. And why not take 2 when you have that kind of speed? Out of central, Wagner, 90 feet away, perhaps for the first run of the ball game. Costly error there.
And as the umpire kind of aided Funkhouser in the inning ago, not such a luck for Monticello right here in the top half of the 4th inning.
Jeremy Sanders with 1 to worry about 90 feet away. Sandwell looking for what would be an easy RBI if he could just tap it somewhere. Again, it's Hayes on deck. Scoreless here, top half of the 4th inning. Would Funkhouser win this one? A noontime game on Saturday. In other words, it's going on right now as we watch this one back, unless you're watching it on VCR. On the outside here, Sandwell. Or perhaps a 3:30 game, which will be later this afternoon. Championship game scheduled 1 o'clock on Sunday. And barring rain and long games, you'll see it 7 o'clock Sunday night. Playing with a corner here is Sailors.
And the weatherman so far has been pretty nice. The forecast has called for rain the past 2 days. We've got a little sprinkle here and a little sprinkle there. Hopefully by Saturday and for the championship game on Sunday, we will have all the rain out of the forecast. Bright sunshine day, get that humidity down where it'll be a good time to come out and see the quality type of Legion ball here in the city this weekend.
1-2 here to Sandwell. Wagner out by about a healthy 6 at 3rd. In the dirt, routine Rothrock to Brown. First out here in the 4th inning. Graham Todd Hayes did not end his high school career the way most would want to, by getting caught on the bases. Of course, Wrights in the semi-state, losing to Jasper. But take nothing away from this guy's playing ability.
Comes in at 237, reached on a walk back in the 2nd inning, and this looks like it might produce the first run of the game. Shows you don't have to be a big type of hitter to come in and produce like that. That pitch is on the outside part of the plate. A good job of hitting by Todd. He went with the pitch, did not get a lot of the bat on it, but enough to get it over the second baseman, Ryan Long's head, to produce the first run so far.
Here again is Mark Kost. Recently it said he will join the MCC in Notre Dame. So perhaps we'll see him back out here next year versus the Aces.
And a pretty rich baseball program up there in Notre Dame under head coach Pat Murphy. We saw them this past spring when they came down to play University of Evansville. Good opportunity for Kost. He's an academic scholarship, so you know he's a smart type of athlete. If he can use his ability to maybe walk on, get some playing time, I look for him maybe to get a scholarship after his 1st or 2nd year up there.
Those are the best kind, the academic scholarships. We talk about it, Charles Gilmore, the standout at Wrights. And why he's not here, I have no reason. But perhaps he'll join Purdue. 0-2. On the outside, 1-2 is Sailor's place with it. 1 already in, and Wagner. And some concern with Hayes over at first base. Down by about 4. Corey Lamb on deck. That bounces once to Rothrock. And Hayes holds up.
And pretty good defensive play by Rothrock, the catcher. Kind of caught it up in the chest a little bit, got the wind knocked at him a little bit. But as a catcher, that is your responsibility back there, especially when you have men on base. Not necessarily that you catch the ball, just try to knock it down, keep the ball in front of you.
Keep it 2-2 here to Mark Cost. You know, it's funny to see all these, I want to say, out-of-town people, some just coming a couple of hours away, others 4 or 5. Amazed at what's about to take place here in just a couple of days. And I see them taking their pictures outside the stadium next to the sign that says Columbia Pictures is working in here. That's a big deal.
It is really a tremendous opportunity, especially for the city of Evansville and anybody that comes in to participate in any type of the local one, to say, I saw where they filmed the movie, or I saw where they were going to do the movie. And it's something that you can talk about for the rest of your life, having a piece of that big-time Hollywood atmosphere.
Tossed down, 4-3-2 away, brings up Corey Lamb. It's really going to be neat to see the finished product next year.
And I'm sure that once it gets into the motion picture, we're going to have a lot of attendance, and also once it gets into video, you're going to see a lot of the tri-state area buy a copy of that and save it for the rest of their life, saying, look, Big Time was here in Evansville. This is what they did. A lot of the people around here can also say they were a part of it with the extra castings going on around the city.
I'm sure Mick Steeler is just licking his chops saying, what can I do with this?
Guarantee the cinema that gets a hold of that can have a pretty good promotion as far as getting the attraction and the audience to come out and see that picture.
Well, Steeler owns them all now, doesn't he?
Just about.
Well, the Ross is gone. 0-2 here to Corey Lamb. And again, Fetcher on deck. Lamb hitting to that double play in the second to end the second. Has one on in Hayes here. He's out by 4 down at second. 1 in Wagner. Top half of the 4th inning. Breeze again towards right field. And Sailors. And they're going to peel down to the first base umpire, and you see that every now and then, Doug Emig, and that's the way it goes here in the top half of the 4th inning. 1 comes in, and Eric Wagner. 1 leaves, the name of Todd Hayes, and you are indeed watching the 1991 American Legion Baseball State Championship, only on TV 52.
Are you looking for a new used car?
Don't worry, be happy.
That's right. Be happy with a great selection of 1991 Mitsubishi program cars at Kenny Kent Toyota Mitsubishi. Like this 91 4-door Mirage, only $9,995. Or this 91 Galant, only $10,995. Or this 91 Montero RS 4x4, only $14,995. Don't worry, be happy at Kenny Kent Toyota Mitsubishi.
You know, to some people, the idea of Kansas and Twisters means Dorothy and Oz. But where I grew up in Kansas, Twisters are real. And real help comes from the Red Cross, not the Tin Man. Right now, the Red Cross is providing emergency relief, food, and shelter to families throughout the Midwest. And they need our help. Because what they're experiencing is no fairy tale.
Contact your chapter. Support the American Red Cross Disaster Relief Fund.
The center fielder, John Curl, on deck.
Back out at Bossy Field with Doug Emig. I'm Duran Smith. We move right along to the bottom half of the 4th inning, and for some reason the games we have covered here as far as the postseason in American Legion Baseball, Doug, have gone at this rather rapid pace. So far, so good.
Good for just about everybody involved. The players, you don't have to spend a lot of time out there. Usually the sun is a factor, not today with the overcast conditions around here. Threat of rain in the forecast once again. It's good for the fans. You're not out here too long a time. It's also good for broadcasters as well.
Here is John Curl, perhaps their best. As far as the bat goes, again headed to Texas A&M. Philip Terry on deck, Jamie Sanders. It's 3, 4, and 5 here from Monticello. Eric Harmon, head coach, better than a decade as a Big Ten official, Doug.
And if you can get a look at his face, you can recognize him. If you're familiar with Big Ten basketball, he does a good job, as well as anybody that works a Big Ten conference like that. You have to be a good official to be in it that long like he has.
You think that umpiring an American Legion can be controversial? Try hanging around Bobby and some of those guys in the NCAA. 2-2 as Fetcher starts to build a string again. Struck out long to end the third. Already 7 strikeouts for Michael. And the 2-2. Right to Jason Kroc. 1 away.
I'll bring up the left fielder Philip Terry, a strikeout victim, the first of those 6 in a row back in the last out of the first into the second and starting the first half of the third. Comes in at .310. 2 home runs, 42 RBIs on the season for Monticello.
As mentioned again, Monticello has not won an American Legion Baseball State Championship. And Muncie trying to do it back-to-back. We'll have to do it from the loser's bracket, as again they lose on Thursday night, 13-10. Terre Haute, the last team to win it back-to-back, 69 and 70. Funkhouser won it back-to-back, 66 and 67. The only team to three-peat, or actually is 5-peat a good word? East Chicago, 42 through 46.
Sounds good.
Bunch of times in a row. Fetcher picks up his old tricks, and down goes Philip Terry for a second time. Strikeout number 8 for Fetcher, and here again is Jamie Sanders.
And that was only 2 outs. We saw Todd Hayes toss the ball out thinking that was the 3rd out.
Trying to steal an out. Has that ever fooled you, Doug, behind the plate?
No. That is your responsibility, especially as a home plate umpire, to make sure you've got the correct balls and strikes and also outs.
Well, Sailors through Rothrock all struck out their last time up. Again, it's 8 Ks on the day for Mike Fetcher. He has his stuff going. 0-1. Likes the corners. That time didn't get it. 1-1 the count. Kyle back on deck.
And you mentioned earlier that he has not pitched in almost 2 weeks. Sometimes that can be a disadvantage to a pitcher if you do not get your arm in action versus live hitting. But I'm sure he's been keeping a regimen on the sidelines to where he throws so many pitches a day, make sure that the arm stays fresh and strong. And it looks so far like it has been to his benefit. He has really come out and thrown a good ball game.
2-1. Trying to play on the outside. Likes the corner. Has been getting the call there. That time a bit high. 3-1 now the count. Trying to work his way back, which he has done before. Just a bit low. That is the first walk given up by Fetcher on this afternoon. And it brings up Kyle back.
Kyle, the third baseman, 0 for 1, one of those 6 strikeouts in a row back in the second inning. Overall at .382 on the season, 55 hits and 144 bats. We mentioned leads the team in stolen bases with 8.
And the first to him. Just a bit off the mark. Jamie Sanders is up by a couple over at first. Funkhouser leading by a score of 1-0. We're in the bottom half of the 4th inning. Funk also out hitting Monticello for the moment, 3-2. 2 errors belong to Monticello. 1-0 from Fetcher. Fast becomes 1-1. And this team has got some pitching, Doug. I'd say some of the better pitching in the area.
When you look at Mike Fetcher in the season that he had, and you gotta have to throw out the wins and the losses as far as his overall high school record this year. You look at the overall ERA, also strikeouts versus walks per innings pitched. Also throw in there Jason Kroc, who pitched a little bit at Central, Niemeyer from Mater Dei, Swedenberg from Central, Eric Wagner from Central, also Pat Curtis from Mount Vernon. Pretty good selection of pitchers, and probably anybody that's close to that as far as overall team in this tournament would have to be the defending state champion Muncie, who returned 9 players from last year's team. 4 of those returning players were pitchers.
Many people agree one of the finer teams McLaRue has had in some time. Hard shot down to Jason Kroc. Still didn't know where it went. It went to Corey Lamb. And everybody is safe. Well, first and second for Monticello. Just a hard shot and tough to control. They score here an error.
And that ball was just hit so hard that even with the quick reflexes of Jason, he could not really get a glove on it. He did a good job just to get over in front of it, knocked it down, but then had no idea where it was. It caromed off his glove, lower part of his arm, over to the shortstop area, and really after that, no play at all.
Oh, he scored E5, okay. Me, Mr. and Mrs. Croc will disagree. Tim Brown, Willie Hilton Rothrock to round it out. Monticello trying to knock on the door, at least trying to tie it up. 2 away, and Fetcher checks him back. Again, that breeze towards right field is coming to factor once, as mentioned. Fetcher 1 out away from getting out of this.
Really the first threat of the afternoon so far by Monticello. Mike has pretty much been in command of his pitches all game long. Really the first threat allowing somebody to get to second base. So a good chance here for Monticello. 1 advantage for Funkhouser. You do have 2 outs. You're in towards the bottom half of the lineup.
Gets behind Hayes, going to advance the runners up. 90 feet away, the tying run for the moment. Here in the bottom half of the 4th. It was Wagner who came across here in the top half. Did you buy your half-pot ticket?
Right here.
I got the winner right here.
I bought one last night, and I was 100 numbers away. I think the winning number was 112, and I had 012.
What do you get for that?
Pat on the back. Thank you for your dollar.
Try again tomorrow night. The 1-1. A little chopper here, making out of it. Maybe tough for Jason Croc, trying to pull a miracle at first, and it won't happen. Tied at 1. And the early hero for Monticello is Tim Brown.
And you can't really fault anybody on a fluke base hit like that. The ball was coming off the bat at such a slow pace. A good play by Jason to come in and field the ball cleanly. His only play would have been at first base, but he did the smart thing, realized with the speed of Brown there, getting out of the box so quickly, no play at all. So credit an RBI for Brown, the first one for Monticello. Now we're tied at 1.
This game not as tense as what the next one would be out here on this evening, the losers bracket game. And Newberg had himself one heck of a game on Thursday night, and Ricky Forsey started that one. I suppose we'll see Nate Shepard. If not, later on today, you bet them tomorrow if they make it.
If Newberg continues with the rotation, as I assume they will, they've been so successful in the postseason for Legion. They've basically gone with Forsey and Shepard as the starters, and Forsey did a pretty good job last night, just tied it up eventually, lost it with losing 7-3, losing 4 runs in the top half of the 10th inning, unable to really get anything going in the bottom half. But they are competitive. They have put together a good postseason as far as the Legion was concerned, getting the big wins when they needed to. So I'm sure they'll stick with the same rotation that has got them where they are right now.
Redmond out to talk to his future pitcher, and Mike Fetcher. And there's runners at the corners and 1 already in. Game tied at 1.
Right fielder Willie Hilton, a strikeout victim, got caught looking back to start off the 3rd inning. Came in at 310, 9 hits and 29 at-bats.
Rothrock will round it out a second time, but 2 away. Well, the first 2 went. Curl lined out to third base. Phillips strikes out. 1 in a bunch. The walk to Sailors. He's in. They say E5. Back down at 3rd. Brown with a single at first. Oh, 0-1. Nice lead over at first. We'll keep an eye on him. And 1 down low. 1 ball, 1 strike.
For Funkhouser to be effective, this is really where they're going to have to take advantage of maybe some of the weaknesses of Monticello. They've got 1st and 3rd. They do have 2 men out, but you're down towards the lower half of the order. Number 8 hitter Hilton up there now, so if you want to try to get him out if possible. That way you can lead off the 5th inning with a number 9 hitter, whereas if you let this man get on and get another run across, you're going to have to face the top of the order in the 5th.
Long half inning, long inning in general. It's both come across here. 3 hits apiece, a run apiece. 1 and 2 here to Hilton. Now we'll say he'd like to get out of it cheaply with a 1-2 pitch, just missing down low.
For as gloomy as it is out here, it's kind of comfortable. Got a good breeze blowing.
Well, like we've had earlier this week, Mike Fetcher says goodbye to this one as 1 scores. They will leave 2, and now there's 4 innings in the book in the 1991 American Legion Baseball State Championship this year at Bosse Field. And your host, Evansville Funkhouser. We're back with more after this timeout.
You know, there's a great place for barbecue on the west side of town, right on top of the hill. Mark's Barbecue. For over 40 years, Mark's Barbecue has used their very own recipes for their home-baked soups, fresh salads, and pies. They'll even barbecue your wild game. Mark's Barbecue has daily specials, anything from a covered dish to a feast. Give Mom a break and the rest of the family a treat. Mark's Barbecue, eat in or carry out. 3119 West Maryland, 425-1616.
How long do you think the public's going to accept the travesty of Don King?
But they're going to be really struggling to have an average year.
I got it all. You gotta know what these guys are saying.
I believe, honestly, yeah, you should be paid based on your performance.
Everything is under control so far.
So I'm not convinced that the cost of Major League Baseball is prohibitive.
All right, thanks for calling.
Back out at Bossy Field with Doug Emick. I'm Darren Smith. Top half of the fifth inning, Mike Fetcher. Nick Utley, Sam Marks. Like it went back in the third. Looking for a different result. 4 up, none come across. And again, we're tied at 1. Fetcher reaching on an E6 last time. Was taken away with the Utley. Fielder's choice. So again, it's 9-1-2 and perhaps more.
Knowing Mike like we know him, I'm sure that he enjoys getting a chance up there to hit and help himself. We mentioned he's been successful most of the season when he's been up there at the plate. Coming into today's game, 4 hits and 11 at-bats.
Here in the third base, I'll tell you, he doesn't have a picture-perfect swing, but he gets the job done. We were even joking during the Wrights baseball season and, well, during the American Legion season. But he is, well, he has the numbers to back it up.
Doesn't matter how you get it done as long as you get it done.
And legal.
And legal.
1 ball and 2 strikes to Fetcher. And this one up the middle. Sailors to first, 1-3. We're so happy to have him still in Evansville for a couple more years.
That'll bring up the top of the order, Nick Utley, 0 for 2 today, reaching on a fielder's choice back in the third inning. For Funkhouser to get more on the scoreboard, it's really important for him to get on base any way he can. Use that speed to his advantage. Overall, he leads the team as far as stolen bases coming into the weekend's play. 32 out of 37 attempts, which works out to about 87% success rate. Overall, Funkhouser's 96 stolen bases are about 81% on the season.
Nick Utley, the right fielder. And the 0-1 from Sailors. I'll remind you again at 8 o'clock tonight. It'll be game 2 here on TV 52, featuring Evansville Funkhouser. And that team to be announced. I wouldn't mind seeing a Funkhouser Newburgh.
I'm sure that everybody around the city of Evansville and the tri-state area in general, Newburgh in particular, would love to see that.
It'll be a rematch for them from the regular season. And Newburgh still did not look that bad. Not as good as they had in the past weekends, but not that bad. And the opener against Highland out here on Thursday afternoon.
Well, we were out here watching that game, and Highland really impressed me with their capabilities of hitting the ball. They really stung the ball well, and I don't know if they are that good a hitting team or maybe just Ricky Forsey was not on as far as his pitches were concerned. But they got a lot of base hits, ended up scoring 4 runs in the top of the 10th inning, eventually winning 7-3.
Here's Sam Marks. Some injury during his junior year at Mater Dei. Jason Kroc on deck. 1 away, and there goes Nick Utley. And I want to say with ease. If it's going to be close, he has such a good slide, Doug.
Well, he is so quick. I was watching his jump. He did not really get that good a jump, and pitching a left-hander against him, it's going to limit his lead a little bit as far as his overall length away from first base. But he has such raw talent and speed that even when he doesn't get a good jump, he can use that to his advantage and get a good break. He's going to third.
A stolen base for Utley, and is into the outfield with his speed. They're going to bring him on in. Boy, it really helps to have a player like Nick Utley in the lineup. And we talked about he's going to U of E, and well, he may not find a starting position in the starting 9 right away. You can bet he's going to find something in the way of base running.
Well, if he cannot work his way into the starting lineup, he will be the first man off the bench in any tight game to where you need a fast man on the bases, where you can work maybe an extra run to your advantage. I'm sure Coach Brownlee is looking forward to really working with him, toning his game a little bit as far as his overall defense. We've seen he can hit, use his speed to his advantage, maybe work on his bunting situation to where he can use that speed, get a lot of infield base hits.
We have seen Montgomery used as the pinch runner in the past season a lot with his speed. And now he'll have someone else joining him in that category. As he matures, look for him for a starting 9 position also. 2-2 pitch to John Curl. Bringing him on in, going to drop right between 3. Easy does it. And that's going to bring up Jason Kroc.
First base hit on the afternoon for Sam Marks. Overall, the 4th hit for Funkhouser on the game. Jason Kroc 0 for 2, flew out to right field back in the 3rd inning. And getting back to that speed a little bit, this Funkhouser team has a pretty good assortment of speed. You look at Utley, also Sam Marks, he's kind of deceptive with his speed. And of all the things as far as baseball, any sport is concerned, you cannot teach speed.
Well, some players, what are not the cheap seats out there, I believe that's something for the movie, at center field. I don't know if you can pick that up or not. They're asked to get down immediately.
And the reason for that, most of them were dressed in white T-shirts, probably the state championship T-shirts they are selling out here this weekend. And it can affect the batter as far as trying to pick the ball up from the delivery of the pitcher.
Test there, close call over at first base, and Marks, and he has some speed as talked about. Still awaiting the first 2, Jason Kroc, and again Wagner on deck. It's 2-1 Funkhouser, thanks to the base running of Nick Utley moments ago. But Walken just worked his way around. Thrown to the outfield didn't help either.
Whenever you get a player the caliber of a Nick Utley, you can use that speed so much to your advantage. Reached on a walk. How many times do you see a walk come back and haunt a ball club? Really, he used his speed to steal that run. He stole 2nd, stole 3rd, and then the catcher, Rothrock, tried to get him going to 3rd, ended up throwing the ball out into left field, and he basically walked home for the 2nd run for Funkhouser.
1-1 here to Kroc. Marks moves out about 4 steps at first base, and you're 1-1 from the Sailors. You're hitting a run on, and well, I'll tell you, is Kroc taking some shots today, offensively and defensively.
And anytime you're up there at the bat and you hit a ball off of your foot, either the inside portion or the outside portion, the front foot or the back foot, you're going to feel it. And a lot of times it's more than numbness than anything else. You get a tingling sensation in that foot. And it takes a few minutes before you really get the feeling back in there. That's why you see them walking around just trying to get everything back into working fashion.
The old tingling sensation.
You heard it here.
1-2 here to Kroc. This time it's again John Curl going to have to back up, and that is the 3rd one. Monticello has misread on this early afternoon. Going to have to get used to Bossy Field. With ease, you score Marks. An RBI triple for Jason Kroc.
And Jason hit that ball so hard you could see as soon as Curl made a first step towards the diamond inside coming in towards the infield, you knew he was dead because that ball was hit so hard. And maybe not so much the surrounding area out there in the outfield, but as much as trying to pick the ball up off the bat. Usually most ball clubs don't have a problem picking the ball up. The background behind the plate is produced so well that you can see the ball pretty good off the bat. He just misread that from the start.
Rick Wagner, tough on the ground, right out of the reach of Greg Diekman. With ease again this time, Kroc crosses. And Wagner on for a 3rd straight time. An RBI for Eric.
This will bring up the first baseman, Sean Sandwell. 1 for 2 today, reached on that gift base hit that was out of the reach of second baseman Ryan Long back in the 2nd inning. did not really hurt Monticello because they eventually got out of that inning without a run scoring. But so far this inning, 3 runs have crossed, 3 base hits back to back to back. That'll bring up Sandwell. And again, for Funkhouser, it seems like you can kind of look at them all season long. Once somebody starts hitting,
right,
everybody starts picking up, and they just put them together one after another after another.
And although it may sound biased coming from, well, a local announcing team, but it's a team that probably belongs here anyway. It's good to see a team that's going to host the American Legion, a team that really would belong there. They have the record and the numbers to prove it.
And you look at their overall record coming into the tournament play, they really had an outstanding season. Of course, you look back, and probably one of the sweeter moments this year was the doubleheader sweep of Eugene Pate earlier in the season, as we saw on TV 52. Probably made their season, and they probably learned a lot from that as far as the competition around the tri-state area. Pick up as many wins, quality wins as you can, gearing yourself up for that postseason play.
We've talked about all season long, all summer long, how close those two teams are, Eugene Pate and Funkhouser. That series this year went 2-2.
Eugene Pate got him back in the sectional up at Boonville. And Funkhouser was not really the Funkhouser team most people had come to expect. Not a lot of offense really from either club, but Pate was able to put together a couple extra base hits, score the runs when they needed to.
And kind of disappointing. I remember they got blown away by Newburgh on that Saturday afternoon. Boy, no one was touching Newburgh that weekend.
Well, Newburgh, you look at their postseason record, and they have really come on strong. And again, you can contribute that to the pitching job so far by Shepard and Forsey. They have really come through where they kind of struggled in the season trying to get the kinks out and make sure that they had a good starting 9 out there. We've seen a couple different starting lineups most of the year, but I think Coach Liss and the staff has really come with a good, solid starting 9, and they have shown that in the sectional as well as the regional.
Newburgh left with the staff as Joe Liss goes and renews acquaintances with a couple.
He will be heading to Philadelphia to participate in the 20th anniversary of Veterans Stadium. I believe they're going to be having a old-timers game on Saturday, so he will not be here.
1-2 here with Sandwell. Wagner out by a couple as we see Sandwell go down. Second time on the K, last time looking, that time full swing.
That'll bring up the catcher Todd Hayes, picked up an RBI single back in the 4th inning to score the first of Funkhouser's 4 runs. 1-for-1 today, also reached on a walk back in the 2nd inning, was eventually caught in a double play situation that Monticello got out of that 2nd inning with.
0-1 to Todd Hayes. Cost Lyman Fincher again to round it out. Big inning here for Funkhouser. 3 in Utley, Marks, and Kroc. And there goes Wagner in the arm of Rothrock. Not going to see it that time. Big jump, good jump there for Wagner.
And just as Nick Utley did not get a real good jump at the beginning of this inning, he eventually used his speed and stole a base. Eric got an excellent jump there. Once you see a left-handed pitcher, they kind of have an advantage versus a right-hander because they can watch the runner at first base all the time. But once you see a pitcher for a certain amount of time, 2 or 3 innings, you're on base over there, you can kind of get an idea of how his moves are. You have a real advantage.
1-1 here to Todd Hayes. 2 away. Top half of the 5th inning. 4-1 Funkhouser. It's Sailors. Lets it go down to Ryan Long. Long to Brown. Score that one 4-3, and they're out of it. Not cheaply, though, as 3 came across for Evansville Funkhouser. And we're back with more of the 1991 American Legion Baseball State Championship. It continues on TV 52.
So let me repeat your order here. That'll be 1 double cheeseburger, ching. Large fries and a large soda, ching. 2 kids meals and 2 medium sodas, ching. 1 chicken sandwich, large fries, and a vanilla milkshake. Bada bing. That'll be $62.75. We're a little shy.
Remember when you could feed your whole family fast food for less than $10? Well, at Rally's, you still can. Rally's has it right.
9-1-2. Bottom half of the fifth inning alongside Doug Hemming. I'm Darren Smith. A long season of baseball for us, Doug. About 100 games, I guess, this year on TV 52, beginning way back in the month of March. Going to come to an end this weekend for us here.
And will be our last attempt in 1991 to cover the local baseball scene. We had a lot of fun with the high school as well as U of E, USI, all the way through the semi-state. Also, Little League Baseball made its second appearance on TV 52 this year, and I'm going to miss it. I mean, baseball is my #1 sport, so take a couple weeks off and then gear up for our fall sports with football and soccer.
Soccer beginning on the 24th of this month. So we open up our season with Wrightson Castle, by the way, and many of you have asked me where are the fall sports schedules for TV 52. Pick them up this weekend right here at the ballpark at the concession stands. 2-0 becomes 3-0, so a little slow here for Mike Fetcher in the bottom half of the fifth to Brian Rothrock.
And we might take this opportunity to thank all of our patriots that stopped by our TV 52 booth last week at the 4-H fair. Really got a lot of good response from the public, letting us know how we are doing as a TV station. And as always, if you have any suggestions and comments, be sure to drop us a line or give us a call at the station. Let us know what you think, how the programming is suiting your family. If we need to do anything different, what your suggestions might be.
Brock to Sandwell. One away after falling behind early 3-0. Rothrock becomes the first here in the bottom half of the fifth. How many balloons did we give away that week?
Well, we went through 2 of those helium tanks, and there for about 2 or 3 days I really couldn't feel the tips of my fingers just due to the fact of tying them all.
You probably shouldn't have been eating the helium.
Well, you know.
You know. Rothrock down 5-3. This is Diekman. 1 for 2 here. Was becoming mid-afternoon. Back here out of play.
Diekman came in at 351. Overall 33 hits and 94 at-bats. 1 for 2 today. Reached on that bunt single after 6 went down via the strikeout. Back a combination of the first, second, and third innings by Mike Fetcher. And there he's trying it again, just a little bit foul.
Quickly 0-2. Again, Fetcher not bad with the strikeouts.
And it kind of gives you an idea of what kind of stuff Mike has today whenever they go up there and not really put it out of their mind, but have really been defeated that they really can't get a base hit. They go to the bunting, trying to get a base hit or get on base any way you can.
Diekman is not struck out. Flew out to the first base and back in that first inning. He's mentioned that single in the third. He's 1 of 3 hits. For Monticello, 35-6 coming into the state championship weekend. 0-2. Tried to find the corner that time. Looking for strikeout number 9 is Fetcher. Breeze continues towards right field in this one. Fouled away, so working to get Diekman. We're talking earlier about that fence out there, and people say it looks smaller. Well, brings the outfield in maybe about a ½ inch. That's it.
I think it's just deceptive just because everybody was used to the fence, the metal part, and with the windscreen on there, nobody's going to get there.
I'll tell you what, that was trouble. It'll teach you one thing is to bunt like that.
That's basically in no man's land right there. Whenever you get a bunt in between the pitching and first base area, you've got the pitcher coming off, the first baseman coming in. It's really the second baseman's job to get over to first base and cover, but that was bunted such a perfectly way and really sneaked its way in there that there would have been a no play for either one of Fetcher or Sanwa had they come up with the ball.
Ryan Long, 1-4 back in the first. And struck out in the third. And check back there to Diekman. Still 1 away. Trying to double him up for the first time for Funkhouser on the afternoon. John Curl is on deck, future Texas A&M product. That was some concern of Diekman. And a little error there behind Sandwell. And thinking about it, Diekman will hold up at second. Maybe the first floor against Fetcher.
Well, we saw an opportunity for Monticello a couple innings ago where he threw the ball away again, but it kind of hit over there on the first base umpire's foot and kept the ball in play to where Funkhouser could retrieve it rather quickly, allowing Monticello not to have an advantage of going to second. And once again, you look at the familiarity of the ballpark here. If you're not real familiar with the territory over in foul territory, sometimes you can take advantage, like we saw Funkhouser and Utley use that to their advantage, get around the bases rather quickly, and sometimes when a ball gets past the first baseman over into the fence area along first base, you can get to third base.
Sandwell, 2 away. Funkhouser would hold on, and there's still a little ways to go. You'll see him again tonight at 8 o'clock regardless. Will they play Newburgh or again Muncie? A lot of ifs still to be answered here.
Well, it being a double elimination tournament, you really have an advantage if you should have a bad game. The first or second game, if you won your first game, you still have an advantage to come back and correct any mistakes you might have had. So it can be a very long tournament, especially if you lose your first game, get into that loser's bracket where you have to play yourself into the winner's bracket.
2 away. John Curl, 0-1. And right past Mark Koss down at second. This should score Diekman. Play here at the plate. In time is Diekman. And the lead cut in half 4-2. With a nice hit ball that time by John Curl. And the 3-0 brings up Philip Terry.
Terry 0 for 2 today, a strikeout victim back in the first and again in the fourth inning. Came in with the power numbers for Monticello. 2 home runs, 42 RBIs, overall average of 310.
So ways to go here before this is decided. Bottom half of the 5th inning, and again scheduled for 9. As most were in the regular season, unless they played a doubleheader, they need to see a couple of 7s. But regardless of how many games you would play in a day here, you'll play 9. Funkhouser playing 2 within 24 hours. They finished after midnight on a Thursday, and back out here on a Friday. We watch it Saturday. So you really work when you also host a tournament. You're not going to give yourself a bye and host it.
It could cause a little bit of problems with the teams coming in. You can have only so much of an advantage when you're the host team, and one of those advantages being able to play in the tournament, regardless if you won your way in there. And I'm sure if you ask Coach LaRue and the Funkhouser players that they would have rather got in on a winning note.
Right.
But they are here, and so far they have used that to their advantage.
1-2. Fetcher still looking for a strikeout victim number 9. A 1-2 looking for the corner, and I think maybe Hayes wanted a strike called there. And grabbing down at second, John Curl. 2-2 to Philip Terry. Jamie Sailors is on deck. Wind again picks up, or a breeze as it is out here, towards right field.
And another opportunity here for Monticello to get a big 2-out base hit. You now got a runner, John Curl, down at second base in scoring position. And Terry has pretty much been the RBI guy for Monticello all season long.
Nice distance, but foul. What I almost like out here is that brick wall in the outfield. If we could knock the fence and that board down next year.
That's a pretty good shot out there, though, especially for high school kids. That we have seen a couple during the high school and the Legion that have gone out of the yard completely.
Trying to find the corner, that just missed. I've seen a couple take 1 or 2 at the NCAA level off the Crawford Door Sales building.
I can remember when the triplets were in town, that was always the big thing, to have one of the AAA players hit it, if not onto the top of it, hit it off of the building over there. And the crowd seemed to really enjoy that, just to see the mammoth home runs.
3-2. Get with 2 away, takes a ride to left field. Sam Marks over about 10 steps, gets out of it. They'll leave 1, score 1, and after 5 complete, our score 4-2 in favor of Funkhouser. Turn to Bosse Field, the site of the 1991 American Legion Baseball State Championship, and you'll see it here on TV 52.
Looking for a place where friends and family can get together for a good meal? For party and banquet rooms, why not call the Pub? Known around town for their great food and atmosphere, the pub is great for reunions, team gatherings, business meetings, as well as your daughter's wedding reception. No party is too big. With a wide variety of food items to choose from, the fine staff at the pub can cater to anyone's appetite. Located at Division and Willow Road, the pub is the place for your party. Call 423-2121. Give the pub a call and reserve your banquet room today.
Westside Dodge sales continue to grow, up 47%. Why? Best prices with a guarantee. If we're not the lowest price on a comparable vehicle, we'll write you a check for $500. We call it the Spirit of America guarantee. So let Westside Dodge put you in the spirit as in Dodge Spirit, the versatile midsize sports sedan that delights the performance-minded with room for the family. Drive away in a new Spirit for $99.91. How's that for putting you in the spirit? Westside Dodge, 1730 West Franklin, only in America, and only at Westside Dodge.
Back out at Bossy Field with Doug Emick. I'm Darren Smith. Jamie Sailors has that lead cut in half. Or half the distance to travel. He's going to have 6 hits. 6-5, Funkhouser. As far as the hits go, and 4-2 for Funk. We go to the top half of the 6th inning, scheduled for 9. Cost, Lamb, Fetcher.
7, 8, and 9 due up for Funkhouser in the top half of the 6th. Mark Cost 0 for 2 today. Grounded out to second baseman Ryan Long back in the 4th inning. Came in at 245 on the season, 24 hits and 98 at bats.
You're talking about missing the half pot number last night by 100. I just missed it by 2.
Well, attaboy. Pat on the back, and we thank you for your support.
Can't pick up any show money on that? Nothing in 2 here to Cost.
Not at this track. Win bets only.
You bought as well here as I do with else.
I wasn't going to bring that up. I know that's a sore spot in your hearts.
And 3 o'clock post on Friday has done me no good.
Well, you got an advantage today. We have a ball game, so you can't go out.
Whole weekend's tied up. Make more money than I bargained for.
There's probably some horses that are going to be starving this weekend, though.
The 1-2 pitch down a little bit low here. I can't pick one out there.
I've had pretty good luck so far this year.
You got a warped system, too.
Hey, everybody's got a system.
This one to right field, and Willie Hinton coming on for the first out here, the top half of the 6th inning.
Going to bring up shortstop Corey Lamb, 0 for 2 today, grounded into a double play back in the 2nd inning on the season at 214, 15 hits and 70 at bats.
Fetcher again to round it out for a 3rd time for Funkhouser. Sailors trying to work those corners again. Started out rather strong, as mentioned back in the 1st. 2 Ks, has a total of 5 here in the afternoon. Excuse me, 6. Those 2 were looking in the 1st. Has not had a 1-2-3 inning since.
Was pretty much in cruise control for the first 3 innings. He issued 2 walks and a base hit back in the 2nd inning. Then the trouble started in the 4th inning when Eric Wagner started off the inning with a base hit, eventually scored on a RBI single by Todd Hayes, and then ran into the log jam at the top of the order back an inning ago in the 5th when 3 came across for Funkhouser.
Down low at a 2-2 count. Fetcher on deck, we go back on top to Utley. Got it started in the 5th with his base running. Again, a ride to right field, and Willie Hilton. Billy with the pass 2 away.
I'll bring up the pitcher, Mike Fetcher, 0 for 2 today. Has been on base via an error on the shortstop, Greg Diekman, back in the 3rd inning, and grounded out. Sailors to Brown, pitcher to 1st back in the 5th.
Mike 10 off from his high school number. He's 27 here, 37 with rights.
You and your numbers.
Maybe he'll be 17 with USI. This one to John Curl in center field. A 1-2-3 inning, as mentioned, the first since the 1st inning for Jamie Sailors and company. Monticello has some work to do. They're trailing by a score of 4-2, and it's getting a bit late at Bossy Field. Bottom half of the 6th inning is just ahead. The 1991 American Legion Baseball Championship on TV 52.
Remember America's call to glory. Patriotic words like give me liberty or give me death. And of course, the most famous of all,
don't you buy no ugly truck.
Freedom is buying a good-looking truck like this S10 Tahoe from Kenny Kent Northside. The biggest truck sale of the year continues.
I hate to shoot with my Liberty hat on, but there's another ugly truck. I think I'll torch it. Don't you buy no ugly truck. It's unpatriotic.
He's unbelievable. And he's misbehaving. He's Johnny B. on the loose.
Hi, I'm Jonathan Brandmeier. We have a television show called Johnny B. on the Loose. They've given me money so we can waste your quality time.
Whoa. Waste some of your quality time with Johnny B. on the loose.
Not really a bad weekend to be in Evansville, Indiana, as we got the German thing going on. What's that called again?
The Germania Manicle.
That's it.
The German thing.
I'm not from here, Richard.
Man, good food, great entertainment. Pretty much one of the summer customs around the city of Evansville and the tri-state area. Come August, you just look for that weekend where the bratwurst starts grilling and sauerkraut. Great German food. A few cold refreshments too.
You betcha. Jamie Sailors, Kyle Back, Tim Brown. That is 5, 6, and 7 for Monticello.
That German thing. Oh, you know.
That German thing. 0-2 here to Sailors. Fetcher still looking for number 9 and has it there. First strikeout for Fetcher since the 4th inning, oddly enough. Had to have a string of 6 in a row, which began the 1st inning. Struck out the side in the 2nd, and almost did it in the 3rd. Allowing a single, but still got 3 Ks. One in the 4th and 1 here in the 6th.
Brings up third baseman Kyle Back. 1 for 2 today, reached on a base hit back in the 4th inning, eventually was stranded at second base. Came in with a .382 average for Monticello.
Tim Brown on deck, Hilton Rothrock. To round it out, it would be a 3rd time for Monticello. Manager Eric Harmon has mentioned the Big Ten official. 2-1. Not bad from Fetcher, a bit high. Going for it back, looking for strikeout victim number 10. 2-run cushion, also 4-2 Funkhouser here in the bottom half of the 6th inning. That one curves out of play. I will take a baseball day like this over some of the few we've had, Doug. Not really that hot. Kind of gloomy.
Gloomy is a good word. Overcast.
But cooler.
Cloudy. Good temperature, and it's really good as far as the players are concerned. You're still going to work up a sweat out there with the physical activity, but it is not as humid as it was yesterday. The rain kind of heated things up humidity-wise yesterday. A good overall atmosphere for the players as well as the fans.
3-2 here to Kyle Back. In the early 0 for 2 for him. It's the first game again for Monticello. So they had the first round bye. And it's a 1-out walk here to Kyle Back. The second given up by Mike Fetcher. Previously, Jamie Sailors back in the 4th.
Tim Brown, the first baseman now, 1 for 2, picked up a single back in the 4th inning. Overall, 349 coming into today's game, 30 for 86.
Hilton on deck. One away, maybe try to turn the double play. Funkhouser yet to do that on this particular afternoon. 1 belongs to Monticello. On the inside, Fetcher. 1-1 from Mike. Back up by about 4 steps, and he gets back.
And coming into this 6th inning, he had thrown a total of 89 pitches. Really ran into trouble. Back in the 4th inning, he ended up throwing 25 again in the 5th inning when Monticello scored their second run, 22. His best work so far back in the second inning when he set him down 1, 2, 3. All 3 outs were strikeouts. He threw only a total of 13 pitches back in the second.
2 balls and a strike from Fetcher on the outside corner. Has him going for that corner, Doug. He's tough there.
Well, he has the type of velocity that he can pinpoint his location, and if it's anywhere close to the plate, Monticello knows they better go up there swinging, and he's got such good movement on his fastball that it's tough to make a contact with the ball.
Trying to turn a double play, and that one just missed. Croc getting in front of Corey Lamb there. Taking amongst himself to go down to second. 2 away on the choice. Here is Willie Hilton, right fielder.
And that was a good play by Jason at third base. As a third baseman, you were taught to go to your left and get anything that you can get a glove on. Even if shortstop's back there, a lot of times, since you're going towards the base you're going to be throwing to, either second base or first base, you've got the momentum going that way. It's easier for you to make a throw than it is the shortstop to set and then throw. And he did a good job, showed good range there, getting a piece of the glove on the ball, went to second, probably the quickest out that he had, and he made a good play.
0-2. Got him looking back in the third, 1-3 in the fourth. Looking for strikeout, victim number 10. Fetcher goes to work and just misses on the inside. 2 away here, 1 on at first. Out by 4 is Brown. The 1-2. Knocked back foul. Do it again. It's also going to help Fetcher to have a familiar face behind the plate in Hayes.
Well, most of these guys have played, if not with each other, the past years in Legion Ball against each other, so they're kind of familiar with each one's presence out there on the field, know who is capable of doing what as far as getting the big defensive plays, or when you're up to bat, who's the power guys as far as offense is concerned. And it also helps to have a teammate that you're familiar with. I'm sure that Mike and Todd have worked enough to know exactly how he's going to approach each hitter. You're not so familiar with the hitters themselves, but once you get into a certain count, you know your pitches and how to use them to your effectiveness.
That one sneaks behind Todd. Count 3-2 now to Willie Hilton. Rothrock like another shot at it here in the 6th inning. Bottom of 4-2 Funkhouser. But again, there's 2 away. Fetcher's been full before.
Last weekend at the 4-H fair, I
think. Too many corn dogs. And one knocked back. We'll do it again, 3-2. We registered a whole heap of people to win that television set. We'll give that away Sunday night, Doug.
We had over 1,000 register at the fair, and we have got numerous response from the promo on television where people have mailed in either a letter specifically registering them for the giveaway or just sending a postcard. And we've also had registrations at the discount warehouse that is donating the TV to be given away. So we should have close to 1,500 as far as entries involved, and we'll be picking a winner this coming weekend. Get a 13-inch color TV Magnavox with a remote control, also a year subscription to the Disney Channel. And thanks goes to United Artists Cable for that.
First and second here for Monticello. Rothrock. 2 walks given up by Fetcher here. Is it trouble? Well, Nick Utley says no, and that does it for this inning. And now through 6 complete. The lead still belongs to Funkhouser. We go to the top half of the 7th in the 1991 games of the American Legion State Championship on TV 52.
Welcome to Brinker's Jewelers, where quality jewelry, prompt service, and affordable pricing is what we strive for.
The Brinker's touch is unsurpassed quality. At Brinker's Jewelers, they offer beautiful custom design work, diamond and stone remounting, also fine quality antique and estate jewelry. Brinker's Jewelers has been providing the tri-state with quality, service, and fair prices for over 19 years. The Brinker's touch, Lloyd Expressway and Green River Road.
A book broker is CDs for $6. Baseball cards and comic books, buy, sell, or trade. Used tapes and albums. Books, movies, and more. the Book Broker, Fair Lawn Shopping Center.
Back out at Bossy Field with Doug Emick. I'm Duran Smith. And it's 4-2 Funkhouser, Doug.
Going into the top half of the 7th inning, due up for Funkhouser, the top of the order, Nick Utley, Sam Marks, Jason Kroc. Nick Utley 0 for 2 today, has reached and scored, picked up 2 stolen bases, really reached on a walk, stole second, stole third, and came home on a throwing error by catcher Brian Rothrock back in that 5th inning. So he has done his job, get on base, reached on a fielder's choice back in the 3rd inning, was eventually stranded at second.
So it's 1, 2, 3, working their way through a 4th time. And it's still Jamie Sellers as it is Mike Fetcher. No changing on the hill for either squad. First to Utley. Good athlete.
And you're going to find in most Legion tournaments, you're going to have a number of multi-sport athletes to where they can play 2 and 3 different sports. That will vary a little bit once they get out of high school where they can concentrate solely on one sport. The majority of them will continue in baseball. There are a few that have the opportunity of maybe playing football or basketball and baseball.
Were you a multi-sport athlete?
High school. And my sporting days were over once I graduated. Something to occupy my time.
Oh, Brother Bart did quite well for himself. He will return to the Aces.
1 more year of eligibility. Officially graduated. We'll go back and work on some accounting classes and use that last year. And I really look forward to next season with the baseball Aces. Probably going to have McCauley back, and a lot of the offense will return. They will miss the majority of the seniors that have graduated, but look for Coach Brown to use the recruits that he's coming in effectively and get some of the freshmen maybe an opportunity that might not have one.
Well, with Utley's speed, would you look at that? Out of the reach of Ryan Long, and I would say maybe the only person, with the exception of one other, I'll get to him in a moment, that could pull that off.
Well, we talked about his speed most of the season during high school and so far in this ballgame here. He made a decision right away as soon as he saw the center fielder John Curl bobble that ball, and he basically did not break his stride once he rounded first base, saw that he could make it, and Curl, once he fielded the ball, kind of nonchalantly got it back in the infield, didn't realize that the play was coming to second base. No chance at all to get Nick.
He's in scoring position. Here's Sam Marks trying to belt him in. 4-2 Funkhouser looking for more here in the top half of the 7th inning.
And who was the other one you were going to refer to?
I'll tell you in a minute.
I want to know now.
That's one way not to get it answered. Just ruined it for everybody, Doug.
Nope, you can't keep secrets.
1 ball and 1 strike. Kroc on deck, Wagner. This would really be nifty for Funkhouser to get out of here with a win. Utley, threat down there at second, trying to loop this one in. Ryan Long over from second, about 5 steps, 1 away.
Brings up the 3rd hitter in the lineup for Funkhouser, Jason Kroc. Had a big RBI triple back in the 5th inning, eventually came around to score on a base hit by Eric Wagner. 1 for 3 today, came in 50 for 126, leading the Funkhouser team with a .397 batting average.
Eric Wagner on deck, 1 away. Funkhouser trying to advance to tomorrow, and there goes Utley with ease again.
No chance at all for catcher Brian Rothrock to even attempt to throw. Just has so much raw talent down there and uses his speed so well to his advantage. Is able to read the pitchers well, know when their moves are going to home plate. Gets such a good jump.
He probably runs faster backwards than you run forwards, Doug.
I wouldn't argue that. I was never known for my speed.
On the outside, what were you known for?
Intelligence. Carry on a good conversation.
Yeah.
Pretty good in baseball trivia. Just all-around good guy.
Big cut by Jason Kroc. 1-2. Probably now 90 feet away.
I bet I could beat you in a foot race.
You've seen how you play golf, miniature golf. You couldn't beat me in that.
Yeah, well, wait for the rematch. Should bring the cameras out to the ETA. We'll show them a little bit there.
Talking tennis?
You got it.
Too hot.
You'd be embarrassed, though.
1-2 pitch. Nice hit down here. We'll go with Utley. I'll tell you, with his speed, surprised he didn't beat that out. 2 away. Trying to knock that one loose.
On a ball hit that sharply, as a runner at third base, you really have to decide as soon as the ball hits what you're going to do. Usually you're going to see a runner at third base when the ball's hit to the left side of the infield. Go back to third, make sure you can get back, and then watch where the ball goes. The third baseman or shortstop usually elects to go to first base. He was off so far with his lead that he had to go right away because the ball was hit so sharply, and really no chance at all to even score.
Eric Wagner with 2 away. His former high school teammate on first, Jason Kroc. Sandwell on deck. In the top half of the 7th, 4-2 Funkhouser. Trying to stay in that winner's bracket. The team who gets to the winner's bracket and plays on Sunday at 1 will have to be beaten twice. That was not a problem for Newburgh a couple of weekends ago in Boonville. Ryan Long just has to throw it to Greg Diekman, covering over at second, and so goes the top half of the 7th inning after 6 1/2. Still 4-2 Funkhouser, and we're back with more of the 1991 State Championship of American Legion Baseball after this timeout.
Your new home may be your largest single investment in your lifetime. Elbrink Electric can provide all of your electrical needs. Known for our commercial and industrial work, we now offer residential service, new construction, remodeling, or if you need the house rewired, we can do it. You will receive quality union work at competitive prices from our licensed master and journeyman electricians. We also offer a senior citizens discount. Call Elbrink Electric today for a free estimate, 425-5264. Elbrink Electric for all of your electrical needs.
And fury. The DCI Summer Music Games.
Come see the excitement, pageantry, and action of the 1991 Drums on the Ohio at Wrights Bowl on Sunday, August 11th at 7 p.m. This year's show has been dedicated a patriotic celebration honoring the men and women of our armed forces. Call 812-423-2430 for tickets now.
Central product over at first base. Number 30, Curtis Payne, in for Sean Sandwell. Over at first base.
Curtis making his 25th appearance as far as games so far this year for Funkhouser. Overall batting average of .304. He's really come through with some big base hits. Picked up 12 RBIs, 21 hits, and 69 at-bats.
Bottom half, or stretch half of the 7th inning. This one called off Mike Fetcher with the run from the hill, 1 away. That's the way to begin a stretch half of the 7th for Funkhouser. Diekman down, brings up Ryan Long.
Long 0 for 3. Grounded out 1-4-3 back in the first, a strikeout victim in the third, and then popped out to the first baseman at that time, Sean Sandwell, back in the 5th.
John Curl on deck. 1 quick out. 4-2 Funkhouser on the outside here to Long.
And through Mike's first 6 innings of work, has thrown a total of 113 pitches. Has really got the numbers going as far as numbers. The last 3 innings struggling a little bit. Issuing 3 walks so far to go along with his 9 strikeouts on the afternoon.
1-1. Fetcher to Long. This one taken for a one-hopper base hit to Nick Utley. 1 out single for Ryan Long.
This also bring up to center fielder John Curl, 2 for 3 today, has reached on an infield single and also an RBI single to right back in the 5th inning, which produced the second Monticello run. And Mike is the type of pitcher that is not really going to let a base hit like that affect him. He has so much confidence in his pitches that he knows he can come back, even though he's allowed a base hit, come back and get the quality pitches, get ahead on the count early.
Out of play for strike one, Curl. Philip Cherry is on deck. Oh, this is the tying run, and it is getting late. Scheduled for 9. McLareau at the beginning of the season here said all baseball games should be 9, especially when you get to this level.
And it is really a good format as far as Legion is concerned that way versus the 7 and a 9, and most of the time all Legion posts play the same type of format during the regular season should they schedule doubleheaders. Usually the 7-inning version, that way you don't really use all of your pitching in one weekend if you've got a tournament going on.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Take it down to Corey Lamb. Lamb goes to Cost, and Cost is looking for Curtis Payne. No double play that time, but they get the force 2 away.
Brings up the left fielder, the cleanup hitter, Philip Terry. 0 for 3 today, a strikeout victim twice, and also flew out to Sam Marks in left field. That back in the 5th inning.
Jimmy Sailor is now on deck, but again 2 away. Little breeze continues towards right field. So temperature-wise, not bad for baseball. Lights are already on here at Bosse Field. Well, they can't use these lights during the movie, can they? Were there lights back then, baseball games?
Yeah, I think the first night game was at Crosley Field in Cincinnati back in 30s, I believe.
May 21st, we're told.
See, 1933, I was right, in the 30s. Just not real specific with the year.
Sometime this century.
Sounds like an answer you'd give.
Well, you know it's right.
Yeah, but that's kind of a chicken's way out of it.
The right answer is the right answer. 1-2. Sharp it down to Mark Cost. Cost to Curtis Payne for the first time. We've seen 4-3. First time Cost to Payne. And now we have played 7 complete. Here in the 1991 American Legion Baseball State Championship. This weekend we're at Bosse Field for one last time here in the summer of 91. It continues on TV 52 after this timeout.
Fast food.
Your order, sir.
A time-saving idea that's become too complicated to be fast. Try Rallies instead. Our menu is simple, and our hamburgers are great. When you don't have time for fast food, drive into Rallies. Rallies has it right.
Everyone makes mistakes, Matthew. Don't pay any attention to the other children.
For this bright 6-year-old, the ABCs have never been as simple as ABC. Where do you go when you're different from the other kids? He got help at a Center for Learning Disabilities. They got help from the United Way. All because the United Way got help from you. The United Way. It brings out the best in all of us.
2, we go to the top half of the 8th inning. 5, 6, and 7 due up for Funkhouser. This is Curtis Payne, first plate appearance of the game. He was a defensive replacement in the bottom half of the last inning for Sean Sandwell. 304 on the season, as we mentioned earlier. 21 hits, 69 at bats. He's also picked up 12 RBIs, 5 doubles, and a triple.
1-0 pitch down low. Another Central product. You know, this year's 4-H queen was from Central. Lisa Korf.
Yes. Cool.
Where'd you graduate from, Doug? Down to, bobbled by the shortstop, Diekman. Almost started off E6 as he lackadaisically throws that back to Sailors. Down to second goes Curtis Payne, and he will be running some laps for that one, Doug. In disgust, back to Sanders.
That's just losing your composure out there. He made an error, bobbled it a little bit, but at this level, you really cannot let that affect the rest of your play. And here we see a trip from the Monticello coaching staff, I'm sure, just to regroup everybody, get everybody in there and realize, okay, let's get back in this ball game now. We're down 4-2. We're in the 8th inning. We don't have a lot of time left. Let's regroup and really get our heads back into this ball game.
Last of the pack here is Diekman. He's the first to get the talking to. Down at second is Curtis Payne. It'll be Hayes, Cost, Lamb, and Fetcher to round it out. And had not played in 12 days prior to Thursday. Fetcher pitching for the first time in 13 days. It's the layoff. Eliminated in the sectional in Boonville. And they host here the 91 state championship at Bosse Field.
Todd 1 for 2 today, picked up an RBI single back in the 4th inning. On the season came in at 237, 14 hits and 59 at-bats. But he is a typical rights player, seems to come through with the big base hits when they need them.
Nobody out, one in scoring position. Even Mike Funkhouser here with the coin flip, the visiting team.
It's a democratic way.
Here are also the visitors out here on a Thursday. Made no difference, they won. 13-10. Two and 0 to Hayes. Payne out by about 4. Down at second. Their chance to still see some good baseball even on this day, this Saturday, as we watch it back. Games out at Bosse Field even later tonight.
A really good opportunity for the city of Evansville anytime you can have the opportunity to host some type of big tournament like this, either a local, sectional, regional, or even a state tournament. You get a lot of incoming participants from the area teams that come down for the tournament. And
Diekman this time with authority, 6-3.
Provide monetary value to the city of Evansville, and they can say, if you put on a good tournament, what a good time we had this weekend down in Evansville.
Well, Sunday will be the very last baseball game out here until next year. As the Columbia Pictures moves in, what everybody has been talking about this summer. They've had people scheduling their vacations around that, Doug. And our sister radio station, WIKY, is going to sign some, how many extras? Thousands and thousands.
Well, they were originally anticipating 40. I think they've kind of limited that because they realized they don't need as many as they originally had planned. So they have been having what they call casting calls, scheduling remotes and registering people, selecting the days that you think you are available, and it's going to be a good opportunity for the Tri-State to get a lot of recognition.
Do you know who's going to be one of the umpires in that movie? Joe Dipple.
No.
Yep,
really?
Joe Dipple, modern day athletic director. He got the call. See if Joe can act.
Well, I thought about applying or trying my hand, but I figured I don't have enough time. I don't have enough time the way it is now.
1-2 here to Mark Cost. Curtis Payne out by about 4 steps down at second. One away, top half of the 8th inning. Another big cut by Cost. He is down again on the K, second time, and now 0 for 4 for Mark. Brings up Corey Lamb, the shortstop, batter number 8, working their way through 9 times. Fetcher on deck.
Corey 0 for 3 today, has grounded into a double play and flew out to right field his last at bat back in the 6th inning. Really important here for Funkhouser to try to scratch and maybe get another run if possible. You're down to the lower half of the order. Try to get a run any way possible. You've got the pitcher Mike Fetcher due up next. You really want to try to get him in at bat this inning so he does not have to lead off coming into the 9th inning. And this is really part of the lineup that you don't expect a lot of production from. It's just an added benefit when you do get that.
Nice on the corner, Jamie Sailors. They gave him in. 7 hits for Funkhouser, 6 for Monticello. Nothing in 2, not missing by much. With 2 away here in the top half of the 8th inning.
And Sailors has done a pretty good job overall. He's picked up a total of 6 strikeouts. His control has been pretty good. He's allowed 7 base hits. The defense has not really been so much behind him. He's given up a lot of errors.
And again, they go down to the first base umpire. And that's the way this inning ends. We've seen that happen twice. And we're back out here to Bosse Field for more of the 1991 American Legion Baseball State Championship. We watch it back on a Saturday. 1 day from Championship Day. You'll see it all right here on TV 52.
On the wonderful world of Disney, oceans of fun in Wet and Wild, as a star-studded cast of Disney's favorite characters submerges you in laughter and delight you with their watery deeds. Climb aboard with Pinocchio, Mickey Mouse, Bambi, and Donald Duck for Walt Disney's Wet and Wild on the wonderful world of Disney.
Fury. The DCI Summer Music Games.
Come see the excitement, pageantry, and action of the 1991 Drums on the Ohio at Wrights Bowl on Sunday, August 11th at 7 p.m. This year's show has been dedicated a patriotic celebration honoring the men and women of our armed forces. Call 812-423-2430 for tickets now.
Bottom half of the 8th inning with Doug Emick. I'm Darren Smith, and it's 4-2 Evansville Funkhouser and Mike Fetcher. Not bad, although he's given up 6 hits. He has, well, polished those Ks up just a bit.
He's got a total of 9 on the afternoon, or a total of 9 is correct. Had a pretty good location as far as selection and everything. He's given up a total of 3 walks, 6 base hits. He's done a real good job, kept his Funkhouser team in. Not really allowed a lot of base hits as far as trouble is concerned. Monticello coming up with their runs, 1 back in the 4th, 1 again in the 5th. 2 up here in the bottom half of the 8th inning, 5, 6, and 7. Pitcher Jamie Sailors, 0 for 2 today, reached on a walk and scored back in the 4th.
Kyle back on deck. Brown, Hilton, Rothrock would round that out a 4th time for Monticello. Out of play here, 1-1 from Fetcher. And Fetcher is one of those pitchers who you could see again before this whole thing's over.
With the staff that they've got, McLaRue has usually used most of the guys either as a starter and or reliever coming in. We have really seen an assortment of pitchers, and I'm sure that last night was just chaos as far as trying to get the pitchers in there and get some good defense behind them. Anytime you have that many errors in a ball game, it's hard on your overall pitching staff just because nobody has really been effective because of the errors behind them. But he has a staff that, in number-wise, is capable of using 2 and 3 different pitchers each game in the tournament should he need to.
3-2. For number 10, we'll have to wait. Numbers that also stand out on the half scoreboard out there. 5-2, errors in favor of Monticello.
And that scoreboard will be coming down once the state tournament is over. No electronic exploding scoreboards back in the 40s. Just like at Wrigley Field, done manually. Which they used to do here back when the triplets were here in the early 70s.
Marvin do that?
You betcha.
3-2. Outside walked him. He walked him back also in the 4th. 4 walks now given up by Fetcher on the afternoon. And for the moment, let's say it, tying run comes to the plate. Gets late here, bottom half of the 8th inning. Hayes out to talk to Fetcher.
Not really the way you want to start the bottom half of the 8th inning either. As we mentioned, his location has been pretty good all game long, issuing only his 4th walk to go along with those 9 strikeouts, 6 base hits. Not really a lot of opportunities for this Monticello ball club to use some of the mistakes of this Funkhouser ball club to score some runs, but they have gotten here this far. They came in with a record of 35-6, so you know they're a gutsy team, and they're going to be able to take advantage probably of the mistakes Funkhouser might let them take advantage of.
I'm over to talk to back, probably saying you do the bunting thing. Nobody out, one on.
Thing.
The what?
He's going to do the bunting thing, and then they'll go to the German thing.
Really a bratwurst of that?
Really know how to use the English language, don't you? Excellent bratwurst, sauerkraut, German potato salad.
Out by 4 steps. That'll be my first. You buying tonight?
You hear the star.
2-0 pitch. A ride here to center field. Eric Wagner way over to make the grab. Long right back for Sailors at first. Nice play, Eric Wagner.
One of the advantages of having that speed in the outfield when you've got Wagner in center, Utley in right, anything in between the gap, if one doesn't get to it, more than likely the other one will. And Eric got a good jump on that ball, read it well, made a good diving catch to save a base hit and possibly another run scoring.
Here's Tim Brown. We try to double him up for the first time. Bottom of 8 in 4-2 Funkhouser. From Fetcher.
And we see some action for the first time down in the Funkhouser bullpen. Wright's product Roger Gady down there warming up just in case Mike runs into a little bit more problem than he's got here.
Oh, Croc holds on to that one. Roger Gady, the Damon Bailey of baseball.
I was going to say that, but I know that that's your line, so I'm going to take any limelight away from you. This is the right fielder, Willie Hilton. 0 for 2 today, has reached on a walk back in the 6th inning, eventually stranded. When you look at the runners left on base so far by Monticello, total of 7 through the first 7 innings.
2 away here in the bottom of the 8th. Rothrock on deck. Funkhouser just to keep on winning. Playing their kind of ball. They played a few extras out here at Bosse Field this year. Basically, their home field is over at USI.
And I think it was a good opportunity for the ball club in general just to have the opportunity to play here, get used to the confines and the lengths and distances between the outfield walls and the actual outfield.
Grayson Kroc helps out in the pass, too, after the walk to Sailors. The rest pretty easy. F8 line to Kroc, and that last one, the option 5-4. We go to the 9th inning, 4-2 Funkhouser, and back with more of the state championship.
See you later, Carol. I don't know if you'll remember me, but I'll never forget you. I'm Mr. Signorelli's daughter. I didn't think about what would happen if he went into cardiac arrest. I didn't realize that at 6 a.m., a nurse would call the shots and save his life.
If you have the smarts and the guts to study biology, chemistry, anatomy, and psychology, call 1-800-962-NURSE. If caring were enough, anyone could be a nurse.
This week on Siskel and Ebert, the 1991 edition of Breakthrough Stars.
Thank you for thinking of me.
It's our annual report on the performers who made their mark during the past year.
An A student, that's what my father said. Isn't that fascinating?
The actors we expect to shine even more in the future.
I'm going to laugh at you someday.
The Breakthrough Stars of 91.
I don't deserve to die for that. Do you think I do?
This week on Siskel and Ebert.
Top half of the 9th inning, 4-2 Funkhouser trying to hold on after 23 runs scored on a Thursday night. It's not bad. 6 combined, 7 hits for Funkhouser compared to 6 thus far from Monticello. 5-2 the errors go to Monticello, something you don't want to grab. Fetcher, Utley, Marks, like it was in the 3rd, like it was in the 5th. And it began that way in the 5th when 3 runs came across for Funkhouser. Looking for the insurance. Here's Mike Fetcher again.
Mike 0 for 3 today has reached on an error back in the second inning. Really, his job is on the mound, so any type of added benefit that you get from his bat, and we mentioned he has had pretty good success so far this year. Coming into today, 4 for 11 for a 364 batting average. His job is mainly out there on the mound, do what he's been doing all afternoon long. If you get a base hit, fine. Let's get back to the top of the order where we can do some more damage.
Mike Fetcher takes a look at the ball on the outside. One and two to Fetch. Get out Lee on deck. Hard shot up the middle, and that's going to sneak right on in there. Oh, roll to John Curl, leadoff single for Fetcher. Nick Utley. Nobody out here in the top half of the ninth inning.
Nick's been on base 3 times today. A base hit, and eventually went to third before he was caught on a fielder's choice trying to come home. Reached on a walk and scored back in the 5th, and reached on a field choice back in the 3rd inning.
Well, Fetcher will take a seat. Craig Engel will pinch run for him.
And Mike did an exceptional job pitching today. When you look back, he's only allowed 6 base hits, 2 runs. And his 8 innings of work has picked up a total of 9 strikeouts, issued 4 walks, and threw a total of 143 pitches.
Engel, of course, out of rights. A little slow roller there. Could be some trouble. Someone's going to have to get over there in time. Not in time. For 2 reasons. Utley was running. A little late there was Long.
Well, that's something that you really need to work on in practice. This is almost too late in the season to really be getting mixed up with something like that. Anytime there's a bunt down the line, first baseman's coming and the pitcher's coming off the mound, it's the responsibility of the second baseman to get over and cover the bag. And for whatever reason, Ryan Long was just a little bit late getting there. And with the speed of Utley, no chance at all. Even if Long had been there, they might have still not got him out.
Sam Marks trying to make this continue. At least move the runners up. Only option at first base, and he got that by about a step and a half. Second and third for Funkhouser. The insurance we're looking for. One away. And here's Jason Kroc.
Jason had an RBI with that big triple back in the 5th inning. Eventually came around to score again. 1 for 4 in the afternoon. Has been on base twice. Also reached on a fielder's choice back in the 7th.
Conference here in the hill. It may be in for Jamie Sanders. He got second and third, and not too shabby in the batting order. Kroc, Wagner, Payne inserted for Sandwell. What have we talked about all season? Well, there's usually not a weak link in your starting 9 in American Legion. The very best come here to play.
Basically an all-star caliber team. Everywhere you go, you're going to find the best of the tri-state area, city, whatever the situation is. The top quality high school players, some of the older players that are young-wise as far as age that have been in college for a year or junior college, to where they can bring that experience back to the summer level. And whenever you get into a state tournament like this is the best of the state of Indiana. You expect good baseball out of most of the teams coming down here.
The moment it's Sailors. Second and third with 1 away. Kroc struck out in the 1st, F9 in the 3rd. Triple and scored in that 5th. Fielder's choice in the 7th. So on this weekend, the defending champion is here in Muncie. The local favorite in Funkhouser. Right up the road, Newburgh. A lot of Evansville players on that particular squad. And on the inside, 0-2.
And if you look at the numbers for Sailors, he has not really pitched that bad a ball game. He only allowed 4 runs, total of 9 base hits, but his location has not really been a factor either. He's picked up a total of 7 strikeouts on the afternoon, so he has done a good job too.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Muncie, by the way, last year had to beat a team by the name of Indianapolis Atkins to win the state championship. We saw Atkins out here earlier this year when Pate dusted him.
And I really kind of anticipated seeing them again in this state tournament. When they came in, I believe the record was 17-1.
Right.
Pate ended up beating them twice, so it kind of knocked them down a little bit, but they had a good quality ball club. and they were there last year. I'm sure that they had probably anticipated on being in the state tournament again this year.
And a cut there by Croc. He's got on the K. And there's 2 away here. Trivial to note that Atkins carries. They were the first team to win the state championship in Indiana for American Legion Baseball, 1926. Eric Wagner with 2 away here in the top half of the 9th inning. I'd like to get 2 more in the insurance. Payne waits on deck.
Eric, 2 for 3 today, has been on base all 4 times. Reached on a single and scored back in the 4th inning, and had an RBI single again back in the 5th.
9 hits for Funkhouser. And nice pitch there from Jamie Sailors. Wagner, center field today, can also pitch very well. Almost a screen there. And that may be it in the top half of the 9th. Saying interference, perhaps. That's the way it ends here in the top half of the 9th inning. And so we say last call for Monticello. They're trailing by 2, 4-2, as we head to the bottom half of the 9th. The 1991 American Legion Baseball State Championship Series continues on TV 52.
Beware. Because Johnny B is on the loose.
Woo! Oh, thank you. That's the crew saying, we can't believe we're on television. They told us we couldn't do it. They told us we shouldn't do it. But you know what? They're probably right. It's a premiere. Don't miss it.
Turn him on before somebody turns him in.
The practice of law requires high ethical standards. Unfortunately, there is a growing number of individuals masquerading as attorneys, not properly trained nor licensed, defrauding Hoosiers of their hard-earned money. Recently, a woman in Franklin, Indiana, lost over $60,000 to a fraudulent practice. Prevent these practices. Call our toll-free hotline to determine whether your attorney is in good standing. Protect yourself. Call 800-432-0713. Rest assured, these individuals will be prosecuted.
Taking a look at Roger Gady. Well, the freshman sensation out of Rights, 3 more years with Steve Johnston, and finds a home in American Legion Baseball right out of his freshman year.
Roger's making his 8th appearance on the season for Funkhouser. Overall record of 2-1, 6.35 ERA. 11 1/3 innings of work, has allowed 15 base hits, 12 runs, 8 of those earned. Also picked up 5 strikeouts and issued 10 walks.
Last call for Monticello here. Down to their final 3 outs, and they may enter a loser's bracket. Funkhouser not only sitting pretty. They'll have the early game on Saturday, and would they win that one, they'd have to be beaten twice on a Sunday at their own home ballpark, coming in undefeated. Here for the state championship. Don't forget, more Funkhouser tonight at 8 o'clock on TV 52. As you'll see today's coverage. Same day coverage, back-to-back days.
Have a pinch hitter due up here for Monticello in the bottom half of the 9th inning. Pinch hitting for the catcher, Brian Rothrock. This is Anthony Berkshire. On the year is hitting .277. He's picked up a total of 20 base hits in 45 plate appearances. So he is coming in for a pinch hitting role. Probably just trying to generate a little bit more offense there down to the last part of the order. 9, 1, and 2 due up here for Monticello in the 9th inning. Get Berkshire in there. It is tough sometimes as a pinch hitter to sit over on the bench for 8 innings, not really get involved into the game a whole lot. Send up in this situation here, just try to get something going offensively. Maybe try a bunt to see where the infield's going to be. We can see Jason Croc, the third baseman, is playing in just a little bit, maybe anticipating a possible bunt.
Well, even in this level, we've seen Gady come on and strike out the side. Diekman on deck. Monticello out of the Kokomo Regional, 35-6 coming in. And the 1-0 from Roger. Trying to find that corner, and he does. 1-1 early.
Now, bet that he is really using this year of Legion ball to his advantage. It is really an education looking at his numbers as we went over a while ago. Not quite as successful as he was in the high school season, but you can again attribute that to his age. He's only 15 years old and he's facing guys that are 18 and 19 years old. Something he's not really accustomed to a whole lot. A lot of tough hitters, and you're going to make some mistakes at such an early age, but he is just a freshman, 3 more years eligibility as far as his high school career is concerned, so he is going to use this as an educational tool, learn the mistakes that he's making now so where he can correct those and be that much more effective his next 3 years at Wrights.
2-2. 3:16 right on time today. Down a little bit low, and it's full.
Wonder if they're going to allow a train to go by when the movie's being done.
They can't stop the railroad, can they?
Hey, you believe it what Hollywood can do. You've run into a little of that.
They've kicked me out already. Leadoff walk. Tying run comes to the plate. Here in the bottom half of the 9th inning. Top of the order, the ones you want up there. Diekman, Long, and Curl.
The ones you want up there if you're Monticello fans. Diekman is 2 for 4 today. Has reached both times on infield hits. Infield bunt back in the first and reached on infield hit. Came around to score back in the 5th.
TV 52, Evansville Cable 6, Monticello Cable 29. 1-0 from Getty.
Not available in the state of California.
And by 4 is Tony Berkshire. Now 2-0 from Roger. And they'll go talk to him. First appearance by Okie Pryor.
I was just getting ready to say, if Roger does not get this guy here, look for a trip from the dugout from one of the coaches, and Okie just beat me to it just a little bit. Being such a young age out there, he really has to have really a mentor to basically tell him what situations are. Yes, he's been effective in the high school season this past spring, but this is really a totally different ball game. And to have a pitching coach like Pryor that has been through the Legion season, also Division II college baseball out at USI, working with youngsters like he has, he knows how to talk to them, approach them as a pitcher, what to do in certain situations.
2-0 from Roger. Monticello looking to tie things up, perhaps win the thing. 2-1. 4-2 Funkhouser, bottom half of the 9th inning. 1 on, nobody out. Tony Berkshire out by 4 at first. Way on the outside by Gady. 3-1 here. Diekman reaches. Going to put your winning run at the plate with nobody out. Comes all two together interesting. We may be out here later on a Saturday than we anticipated moments ago. Oh, shot there just out of the reach of Mark Cost. And here comes run number 3 for Monticello. Tony Berkshire. The walk hurt. 1-run ball game, nobody out, and Diekman at first. Here's Ryan Long.
Just about 6 more inches up on the ladder, and I think Mark Cost would have had that. Probably not a play at second base to where they could have doubled off Berkshire, because he had to wait to make sure the ball got through before he took off. But walks come back and haunt you the majority of the time. We've seen it a number of times this season on TV 52 where somebody gives up a walk, that run eventually comes back and scores. And right now you just cannot let that affect your game.
Gotta get that first out. Oh, controversy here. Obviously he thought he was safe.
I think you could say that.
Bill Shopmeyer over there.
When a coach fires out of the coaching box like that, the majority of the time he thinks the umpire missed the call.
Shopmeyer down there jarring. And Harmon here talking to the home plate umpire. And this time it's Mark LaRue with Todd Hayes to go visit Roger Gady.
And American Legion mentioned, we have pro rules, so the second trip to the same pitcher in the same inning remains removal for the pitcher. So we see Eric Wagner coming in from center field.
Eric Wagner from center field, and we take this time out. First pitching change we've had actually during an inning. Breaks it up just a bit. Trouble here for Funkhouser. Ninth inning continues, up by 1, as does the 1991 State Championship of American Legion Baseball. We're back with more after this timeout.
Hey, the Super Mario Brothers Super Show is getting better. Holy ravioli!
Hey, man, I'm Tommy Treehugger.
Hey, I'm co-MC. Welcome to Club Mario. From their rooftop, our hosts satellite surf across the airwaves to change the way you watch TV.
Hey, we got celebrities, sports, music, the Mario Brothers. If it's cool, we got it, because the airwaves are our waves.
Next time on Sports Express, defending champion Scott Sharp leads the Sports Car Club of America drivers dashing through the Motor City in front of 500,000 spectators in the annual Detroit Grand Prix.
Who the hell is he? Superforce. Times are tough. This man's tougher.
As we mentioned earlier, one nice thing if you're McLarew, you've got some pitching to replace pitchers and good pitchers aren't pitching their kind of game on that particular day. Fetch was replaced by Gady. Just a move there by McLarew. Gady is not his afternoon. Eric Wagner comes in from center field. Marks moves over from left to center. Aaron Schampker enters at left field. Outfield, Schampker, Marks, Utley, left, center, and right.
Eric making his 10th appearance on the season, his second relief role. Overall record of 4.2 ERA, 3.21. He's worked in 56 innings. Allowed a total of 46 base hits, 29 runs, 20 of those earned. He's also picked up 59 strikeouts and issued 37 walks.
4-3 Funkhouser, 1 away, 1 in scoring position. And again, you got to say the winning run comes to the plate. Ryan Long. Wagner does have those impressive numbers. You can go back to his high school career. One of the best.
And right now, the concern of Funkhouser, not so much the batter at the plate, but the man at second base. That is the tying run in Greg Diekman, who picked up the RBI single to get the third run across for Monticello in this inning. Got John Curl, now the center fielder, due up. 2 for 4 today, has been on base 3 times, reached on a single in the first, an RBI single in the 5th, and reached on a fielder's choice back in the 7th.
One concern down there at second. First year is fouled out of play, and Wagner reminds you of Forsey in the way that he's not only an outstanding pitcher, but also an outstanding batter. Plays the outfield.
And uses his speed, as we saw earlier in this game, to his advantage when he's out there on the field. He ran that fly ball down into right center field, made a good catch. And this is a classic confrontation right here. You've got the number 1 hitter as far as Monticello is concerned, a left-hander on the mound, and Eric with good velocity on his fastball. Look for him to challenge him with his best stuff.
1-1 pitch from Wagner. Bounces before Hayes. This combination, this battery looks to click. Philip Terry on deck. 1 big out. 4-3 Funkhouser. 2 from advancing on further. Winner's bracket. Double elimination. Chopper down here. No bobble there by Payne. In time to Wagner. No. First and third for Monticello. Tying run 90 feet away, winning run at first.
And right there, maybe because of the insertion of Curtis Payne, not really familiar with the ball game right now. Anytime you come in off the bench late as a replacement, either in the field and or as a pinch hitter, it takes you an inning or two really to get into the ball game. And he kind of laid back on that ball. It kind of took an extra hop in between him. Bounced up on his chest, did a good job of recovering the ball, just not quick enough. Wagner did a good job also getting off the mound and getting over to first base.
Nice pitch from Wagner. Terry wants to do anything but hit into a game-ending double play.
Well, this is a man that has really not done any damage so far against Funkhouser. 0 for 4 today, has got a pair of strikeouts.
Just the ones who worry you. 1-1. Diekman 90 feet away. First curl.
But as far as Monticello goes, he has been their big guy as far as home runs and RBIs all season long, leading the team with 42 home runs. Came in at 310.
That's not missing by much. 2-1 the count. Short leads at both bases. So we'll check back there. That was close. Forced Curtis Payne over to look in a hurry over what's going on at third base. Soon the count 2-1 here to Terry. Sailors on deck. Began with Tony Berkshire. Came in for Rothrock. Big cut there.
Power against power.
2-2. You got 2 outs to go. 4-3 Funkhouser. Bottom half of the 9th inning. Big pitch, 2-2. And that one holding on. Corey Lamb.
Well, they got one by the infielders on a similar play earlier in this inning, just out of the reach. Second baseman Mark Koss, that one not able to get over the head of Corey Lamb. Showed good athletic ability there, going up, saving a base hit. That would have tied the ball game. Would have had runners on first and second, still only 1 out. But now, first and third, 2 men out. The pitcher, Jamie Sailors, up now. Has been on base twice with a walk, has also struck out twice. So this is it right here.
The strategy going. Sailors the batter, Wagner the pitcher. The first time this combination has faced each other. First and third for Monticello, 4-3. Funkhouser, 1 out to go. Dial back if necessary. On deck. And on the outside, ball 1.
And this is the third game of the Legion tournament here this weekend. All 3 games have been close games. Not so pretty games as far as Funkhouser and Muncie was concerned, but 13-10 game. We saw Newburgh and Highland, the first game yesterday, go 10 innings before Highland was victorious 7-3. So it has been a good competition for the fans to come out here and see it. Probably will continue the same pace much of this weekend.
1 ball, 1 strike. That corner. 1 strike away. Mr. Wagner. Little help from the little white bag. Kay would do it. Got him! Little nervous there at the end. Saves it for Mr. Fetcher.
And you can see Mike is the first one out there to wrap his arms around Eric, saying, "Thanks, buddy. You got me out of this one."
Funkhouser wins another close one here in what is the state championship out here at Bosse Field. So they stay in that winner's bracket. And we're probably playing right now on this Saturday. We'll have more Funkhouser later tonight at 8 o'clock. And we'll wrap this one up on a Saturday afternoon on TV 52.
Without your seatbelt on, cause if you do, you'll get the summertime blues. You better watch it now.
This week on Wrestling Challenge, Sergeant Slaughter meets 2 men at one time. Plus Bret the Hitman Hart, The Undertaker, and other greats all here.
This week on Wrestling Spotlight, the Dragon heats things up. The Berserker goes crazy, and Virgil takes on Paul Roma.
Now back out at Bosse Field, and well, a little nervous there towards the end. You pull it out and win it 4-3.
Well, it got a little touchy. Brought the boy in from center field and did a heck of a job. He's you might say Eric's a big game. He's a big game player, both at the plate and on the mound. Reason we don't use him as much is because it weakens our defense when we take him out of center field. I thought we had a lot of opportunities to put the game away early, and we couldn't come through and get the job done. I feel pretty fortunate getting out of it this way.
Decision to replace Fetcher in the first place. Where did that come from?
Well, Fetcher's tired. He'd gone 8 innings, and he'd thrown the ball well, and we thought Roger, the Gady boy, could come in, and we thought he could come in and throw strikes, and that's all we needed at that stage of the game. And he was, of course, he's a freshman, and he might have been a little uptight, which is understandable at this level for a young boy. And we just thought it was a thing to do, and not only that, we wanted to get the run in from when Mike got on first. We needed another run. The third run would have looked awful big at that stage of the game.
A lot of baseball here, and crammed into a couple of days. You guys got to come back now, and we'll see that game at 8 o'clock tonight. Play again, and we'll keep on winning.
Well, we're gonna try. You know, this is a good tournament. There's no weak sisters in this. Right. Anytime you come out and you think you've got a team put away, you're going to get beat. And you've got to come out. The main thing about, I've been to 4 of these in the last 8 years, and this is the 5th one. And what I've found out, you play each game one at a time. When you start looking ahead, you're going to get yourself beat. And when you get in the loser's bracket at the state, it's very difficult to come out of it.
Mac, best of luck. We'll talk to you again tonight.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Mac LaRue and Doug Emming, if he could come on over here and, well, wrap it up with this one. Number 1 belongs to Funkhouser. Number 2 belongs to Funkhouser.
They have pretty good put some wins back-to-back together. Again, they got the 3 big runs that one inning where they put the singles back together. The big triple by Hayes coming up, or Kroc picking up the RBI, so they know when to get the hits. And they're gelling kind of. The Wrights team is on here representing them. You kind of look back at the semi-state during the postseason, during the high school season, where they seemed to get together as a team once the postseason started. Good job here by Wrights. Fetcher did a good job. I think Mac kind of was right. He ran out of gas. He threw 8 innings, struck out 9, allowed 4 bases on balls, 4 base hits, but he'd thrown over 140 pitches, so he was pretty much spent at that time, and the age factor probably a factor with Gady.
Later on tonight, we'll see Evansville Funkhouser again. They might play Newburgh or a team they just saw on Thursday at Muncie.
Classic battle would be against Newburgh, obviously, just because of the local connection, and be a good chance for the fans to come out and see that. But I'm sure Muncie would like a rematch with them, kind of make amends for the 13-10 loss they had against Funkhouser Thursday. But either way, look for Funkhouser to be ready for either team. They're on a roll now. They've got a winning streak going. They've got pitching left, too. We saw Curtis the first game. We saw Fetcher here, so there's no telling who Mac will bring out for that next game.
Muncie may be the first to be eliminated, the defending champions. On an up note, Funkhouser continues to win. They'll play again tonight on TV 52. You'll see the game 8 o'clock. Until then, have a great afternoon, and we will talk to you at 8. This has been a presentation of TV 52 Sports, recognized around the tri-state as the leader in local sports programming. The 1991 American Legion Baseball State Championship, Evansville Funkhouser in Highland. It is game 2 actually here on a Sunday. That tonight in the stretch half of the 7th.
One lucky viewer will be able to walk away with a TV, remote control, a year subscription to the Disney Channel. So we're going to do that in the bottom of the 7th inning. Had a lot of good response from the fair people stopping out there and letting us know how the program is. This is kind of our way of rewarding you for watching us.
Final baseball game you'll see here on TV 52 here in 1991. It's the climax, the grand finale. The 1991 American Legion Baseball State Championship coming up next. For championship night, a winner to be crowned just a couple hours from now. Doug Emming, we all shall know who will be the 1991 American Legion Baseball State Champion representing Indiana.
Good job by Funkhouser in the first game this afternoon.